I have a lot of thoughts on that whole thing that would probably get me canceled, but...
Speak on it.
Okay.
White math is going overseas, calling yourself an expat, and then calling people of color immigrants. White math is living in an African country and then telling indigenous people to go back to where they come from.
Amazing viewer, I appreciate that you stopped by Comfort for Life Network. I'm glad to have you. And how did you find the previous video we heard? And if not watched it, kindly, I've linked it in the comment section. Kindly check it out. I'm glad you're watching. And also, I would want to remind you that the purpose of this channel is educational purposes. So let's interact in the comment section. I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to give you something that you just swallow and say yes. But I would really want to hear your perspective on the things that we're sharing, so that we get to grow this community. Thank you so much. You never know the impact you'll make through leaving me a comment and also clicking that like. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of the video.
What is white math? 2 showers in 7 days.
Oh my god. Yo, there's no way mans are doing that, fam. Yo, Jeff.
Okay.
I heard someone talk about white woman math, and I'm just like, now this is white woman math is when your coworker lets you know you've made a microaggression, but a different person of color in a completely different scenario told you were an ally. So those two things cancel each other out. White woman math is when your second cousin married a black person and they now have 2 mixed race children. That means you have 3 black family members and you can ask your coworker any questions you want. White woman math is when you're in public and you see one person doing something you just don't like. So you dial 3 numbers and then 5 cops come out and minus 1 person. White woman math is dividing humanity by 2 and getting white and other. White woman math is blacking out your Instagram portrait, but then when BLM multiplies exponentially, saying things are getting out of hand. White woman math is knowing that a positive times a negative is always a negative. So if you pay someone a compliment and they let you know that it's actually not a compliment, you've been attacked.
I got one. When you repeat back to them what they said to you, but slower, and then they try to tell you you're twisting their words. No, you're just hearing how dumb it sounds out loud.
White math is your ancestors colonizing, invading, unaliving, stealing from other countries. And then you complain immigrants are coming to yours. White math is listening to Amapiano, Afrobeats, drill, hip-hop, eating foods from Africa, Asia, South America, the Pacific Islands, etc. You're doing all of that, but you're racist. Okay. White math is calling black people lazy, but black people are the ones doing your dirty work all the time. White math is calling non-white people stupid, but you steal our ideas and you say you did it.
So I gotta be real with you guys. You look like f***ing clowns. Oh, I'm not f***ing kidding.
White math is denying funding for black female entrepreneurs and black businesses in general because it's reverse racism. I said what I said.
Okay, so we have girl math and boy math, but now apparently we have white math. So this is white Australian math. So white Australian math is refusing to change the date of Australia Day because it's so important, but then saying that it's not the actual date that you're celebrating, it's how proud you are to be Australian. Like, if you're not celebrating the actual date, it could just be moved. Australian math is accusing immigrants of taking over your country, even though your ancestors have only been here for like 250 years. White Australian math is telling Indigenous Australians that they can't identify as Indigenous unless they look Indigenous, but then going and telling people that you're like 1/16th Italian. Like, come the fuck on. Do you speak Italian? No. The jar of Dolmio bolognese sauce that you chuck on your dry unseasoned beef mince with a packet of $1 Woolworths pasta does not count either.
Recognizing 100 dog breeds, but mix it up 2 black people that look nothing alike.
Go back and watch. Now, mind you, me and this other black girl, who mind you is 20 years younger than me, she's in her 20s, I'm in my 40s. She's a skinny little thing. I'm a plus size bitch, okay? Let me tell you. She had the same hairdo that I have, except for hers were dookie braids and mine are like this. How do you mistake two black girls? She's skinny. I got an ass for days, and she's flat as a board. On top of that, she was pregnant. How do you mistake one for the other? See, she mishandled money, and they said that that was me. To find out it wasn't me. She admitted that she mishandled money. They still terminated me. I got my job back in 6 months after they said, oops, our fucking bad, because I went to the union. This is what palm-colored people do. They use rose-colored glasses.
Right. And I like to call this the internet math. And y'all know what this is. It's like the figures around how many views any particular page can get that has been cultivated by a creator across social media platforms. Okay, so those are 3 different types of figures. And I want to talk about a little bit what they have in common. The first one is that they're often used to assess. All right. So when we think about something like a credit score, a banker, right, someone who's from a lending company, a lending institution, is going to use that to assess if someone is worthy of a bank loan, right? I said I was going to talk about the irony here, right, that credit scores are not used globally. They're a big deal here in the United States, a country that has not managed to pay its debt to, I don't know how many of the descendants of enslaved folks who currently live here. I just needed to bring that out into the open. So there's the assessment that these larger institutions are doing to say if someone is worthy or not, deserving, should have access to. Y'all following? Are you tracking? Let's talk about how these 3 elements have often been used to police Black, Indigenous, and people of the global majority. All right. We know, and there has been some tremendous research that talks about just how anti-Black and racist the current BMI is. All right. But lastly, there's also this thing that happens when we think about all 3 of these figures, the ways in which they have been utilized and leveraged to gatekeep, to keep Black, Indigenous, people of global majority from accessing certain resources. All right. Credit scores have literally kept people from certain neighborhoods. And if you can't get into a certain neighborhood, we already know the types of schools that you don't get access to if you're a Black child here in the United States. And don't even get me started about how social media works, because time and time again, especially across certain social media platforms, we see the preferences for people of a paler persuasion. So listen, at the end of the day, we have to make decisions to no longer let white math.
And here we have White Math, where we cancel Bill Cosby, but promote Seventh Heaven, whose lead, is a pedophile.
White math is being upset that a road gets a name change because our history is being erased. But then watching a video on apartheid history and saying let's just forget about it. White math is using an illegal phrase or word, or defending the use of an illegal phrase or word, and then calling Black people and people of color criminals.
I'm glad you watched this extent. Kindly subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on the bell. Also, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Till we meet again. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.